AP is for everybody. As long as you apply yourself academically and are up to the task for all the work ahead, then anyone can take an AP class.
Well, when it comes to an AP course, there is always going to be rigor to the course itself.
Let me tell you, if you're a dedicated student and you have that intrinsic motivation where you want to learn and you're willing to take feedback and revise and work on your weaknesses, of course you can take AP.
I've taken 8 AP courses.
For me, I've taken almost about 9 to 10 AP courses.
I haven't taken an AP class. This is actually my first time taking this class.
So right now I'm taking AP Literature and Composition. So it's basically the ideas of learning how to analyze poetry text in the figurative language. So we're learning how to describe what a metaphor is or what the simile is, the literary devices that is used within an art, like a poem itself. So compared to AP Language, which many juniors will take, it's the how to argue, what is rhetoric.
I teach AP Physics 1, which is for some students is an introductory physics course, or they might be taking it after they've taken honors or on-level physics. As you're planning to go to college, what do you want to do? And a lot of students want to do something science or technical in nature, and so AP Physics can help you see that there's a lot more to the world than simply one formula or another.
This class that we're in right now is AP Spanish Literature, which is an upper level literature. It kind of equates to a college literature class, maybe a 300 level literature class. We talk about the historical context. So we start in the Middle Ages and we go all the way through the 20th century, and we look at literature from all of those time periods. So we analyze the literature for figurative language, but also we look at what was going on at the time in Spain in the Middle Ages. Why was this a rhetorical device that was common in that time? Why was that used?
AP Seminar is a class where you'll learn skills for the next AP classes you'll be taking, skills for college, and believe it or not, skills for the real world and the workforce, right? The students will work on building critical thinking skills, doing research on interesting topics, so it doesn't even have to be ELA related, but any topic that you're interested in, you'll present as a group and you'll write a paper on it trying to convince others of your topic. The hardest thing about my course, the discipline. Can you work on your own with your group and meet a deadline, right? Can you do research? Can you ask the right questions to do your research? Do you know what you need for your research to be successful? And can you work with others? Implement all of those things, meet the deadline. It's not that hard.
So in AP Psychology, we study individual behavior and patterns of thinking. So we look at all sorts of things such as development from the womb to the tomb. We look at biological bases of behavior. So we look at things like neurons, neurotransmitters, the brain, the different parts of the brain and what they do. We talk about mental disorders and the treatments for those disorders, talk about how we learn, how our personalities are shaped. We talk about how other individuals affect us with social psychology. So there's a lot of different things going on in AP Psychology, and everybody can usually find at least 1 or 2 things in there that really interests them.
AP Chemistry is, it's the study of how atoms interact. And that sounds kind of boring, but in reality, that's what controls everything in the world around us. I would definitely recommend that you have high school chemistry before you try to jump into AP Chemistry. So if you've already had high school chemistry and you learn things like electron configuration, if you ever wondered, well, how the heck do they know that? AP Chemistry is the class that's going to teach you how we know all of those things that you learned in regular or honors chemistry. AP Chemistry really goes much, much deeper into atoms and molecules and how they make up the world around us and how they interact with each other. And you will learn so much more about how our world is actually controlled at the atomic level. AP Chemistry definitely has a requirement of having high school chemistry at some point. It can be either on level or honors. Honors chemistry is focused more on getting you ready for AP Chemistry. But if you took on-level regular chemistry and you really, really rocked it and that was just totally your jam and you really want to dive deep, that is something that you could do.
AP Calculus definitely relies on a good pre-calculus course. So hopefully you've had AP Pre-Calc or Honors Pre-Calc before you go to AP Calculus.
AP Calculus is a little bit different. It is a college course, and so I'm looking for a lot more direct instruction in the classroom. There are a lot of very detailed examples I can provide, a lot of explanations, a lot of tips. Often we talk about strategy for the AP exam. We go further than just basic skills. We talk about concepts. And so there's a lot of time with direct instruction. It does require some time on your own where you're processing and practicing on your own without me guiding you though. Some of that can happen in the class, but you've got to allow time outside of class in order to be able to master the concepts and the skills. If you take Calculus AB, that's the first semester. If BC is ever available, you can also take that for Calc 1 and Calc 2 if you get the correct scores on your AP exam.
The AP exam is a really stressful test. Like, you would have to have complete mastery over the subject to get a 3. Well, to get a 5. And the AP exam is basically some measure that you have, like a test that measures your ability, and it's based on a scale of 1 to 5, and a 5 being you would get college credit, like for most universities in the United States, and then 3 being you would get some college credit at some universities in the United States.